Hey, and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review Lunar Vacation's debut 2021 album. Inside Every Fig is a Dead Wasp. That's the full name of the album. It's pretty good, especially for a debut. I think this is a definitely a good, great album here. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks I added to my playlist. 6 out of 11, so 1 over half. This album is pretty good. I like the style, although most of this, overall, it might be a bit too slow for me. The good thing is, though, most of the songs are pretty slow. They don't sound like other slow songs, and they don't really sound that much like each other, which is great. That's where you want to be. Each song pretty much has something interesting and unique about it, so even though I didn't like all of them, I liked a good amount of them, and the album overall was still great. This is clearly sort of an indie alt album. It's got some rock influences, but I don't think I would call it fully a rock album, except for the instruments. They're kind of a rock band, I guess. And I think the style is pretty good. Although it's not a genre I've heard a lot, so I'm not familiar enough with it to, I guess, love it properly. I'm not really into this genre a ton, so that's why I didn't add, every song here. As far as I could tell, they didn't release any singles from this album, although they might have. It's kind of difficult to tell with these things. But my favorite song here is probably Cutting Corners, right in the middle. It starts out pretty great. It's got a great opening, and it's just sort of a nice, quick song. Very good in the context of the album. Most of the album's pretty mellow, and this one's a little bit more upbeat. They really flow quite well from sort of mellow into a little more upbeat, and then back into sort of the mellow towards the end there. This is the first and only Lunar Vacation album, so it gets the top spot in their rankings. Yay, it's their best album, I guess. Anyway, this album, it doesn't take my top spot from 2021, unfortunately. That stays with Imagine Dragons' Mercury Act 1. Honestly, not by a ton. I think that Inside is probably the second or third best album from the year, which is really good for a debut. And there's a lot of albums that came out in 2021. They're beating out probably beating out One Republic's 2021 album, definitely beating out Sting's 2021 album. This album's really good for the year. If I wasn't such an Imagine Dragons fan, I would definitely put this one in the top spot. But I don't know. I go back and forth on Mercury Act 1 if it's really as good as I've put it in the past. But I think I'm going to leave it there for now until something really comes along that really blows it out of the water. So next up is the Police's 1980 album, Zenyatta, Mondatta. It's really good. It's one of my favorite albums from them, and one of my favorite albums from that year. 1980 is another big year, like 2021. So stay tuned for that. And as always, stay minty.